De Bruyne's corner. Holland! Goal! It's Mo Salah! It's Mo Salah! Absolutely sensational!
And we're live. Welcome back for another deadline stream. How's everyone doing today? I'm laughing at taking the tis saying and we're live. He stole my line before I said it. How's everyone doing? Good evening. Welcome back for another deadline stream. Evening Oscar, good riddance, mate. What? That's not a very warm welcome. How's everyone doing today? Good to be back for another deadline stream on a Tuesday as well. How stacked does tomorrow look? We've got 8 games on tomorrow. Tonight's game's a bit dead, but tomorrow looks so good. Can't wait. And then obviously we've got Arsenal v Liverpool on Thursday. My team looks dead. I've got such a bad team this week. But I think I'm going to roll. Enough is enough. I'm rolling. Welcome to everyone that's normally an FPL Harry regular. He's away on holiday. So if you normally watch Harry and not my streams, then welcome across. Good to have you. Anfield Irishman with the 40 months as well. Says Happy New Year, Oscar. Happy New Year to Anfield Irishman. So, game week 21. Lots to talk about. Double bench Liverpool, smart man, says Jack. I had Ekitike starting like since last deadline, but I've dropped him to the bench about 20 minutes ago, just before going live. So it often goes wrong when I make last minute changes, but yeah, that's what I've done. Ekitike's dropped to the bench. Anderson's come off the bench into the start. He's got Chelsea home. It's not great. I saw this quote earlier as well. Slot was asked about Ekitike being fit in time to face Arsenal. He said it's always going to be a thin line and a difficult balance. If a player is not available on Sunday, is he then available in 4 days? So yeah, don't like that quote. So I've dropped him to the bench. Or maybe I should even put him behind Van Dijk. The thing is, where do you go if you sell him this week? I've already got Thiago. So, in theory, I should just hold on to him and hope that he's fit to play Burnley home. And then he's gone. Probably. Maybe not. Might keep him for one after that. Maybe I'll keep him for Bournemouth away, actually. Then he goes. Then I swear he's gone. So that's kind of where I'm at with Ekitike. I don't know. It just feels like I sell him now. I don't have great replacements, even though I've got 3 free transfers. And then also, I don't know, that Burnley game could be like a 3-4-0. Wouldn't surprise me at Anfield. So I think I'm going to keep him. It's going to be one of those weeks. And my team looks horrendous. It's not great. I've got double Arsenal defence against Liverpool. I've got Anderson, who's got Chelsea. Saka's got Liverpool. That's not great. I've got Thiago facing Sunderland. I've got Mukiele starting. One of those weeks. The one thing that I'm a bit more assured on now is O'Reilly. Because I didn't want him to start against Chelsea. Because I was really going to sweat on him starting home to Brighton. Had he started against Chelsea. And he did start against Chelsea. But obviously Vardy's out for like months. He could miss the whole season. Ruben's out for 6 weeks. So what choice does Pep have really? He's got like Rico Lewis who can play left back. Ake can. But Ake's going to have to play left centre back. Teddy's there. What? Not now. Can't play now. So that's where I'm at with the team. I think I'm going to roll to 4 free transfers. And that gives me... Hang on. Right. So I'm going to roll. That gets me to 4 free transfers. And then I've got a few options. One option is Raya to Sanchez. O'Reilly to Gabriel. And then I could do something like Cunha to Zoboslai or Cunha to Cherki. I could do that in Game Week 22 if I roll this week. So that uses up 3 free transfers. I would have Zoboslai just for a couple game weeks. And then I'd sell Zoboslai for Palmer. I would sell Foden for Bruno, and then I'd sell Ekatike for Barnes. So basically I'll get, what was that, 2 or 3 more games out of Ekatike. Why does his face look like that? Yo, that's a bit harsh. You talking about me or him? Teddy, they're asking why your face look. What do you mean? He's a chihuahua. He's going a bit grey. Why does everyone want Palmer? It's just the fixture run from Game Week 24 is absolutely obscene. Like, there's so many goals in that run. So I go Game Week range, go like 24 to 27, filter on goals. So Chelsea are top for projected goals. It's West Ham home, Wolves away, Leeds home, Burnley home. So it's 3 home games. And all 4 of them are just great fixtures. Has the dog got an FPL team? He hasn't, unfortunately. Need to enter him a team. Imagine I entered Teddy a team just like ironically and it got me banned for entering multiple teams and I had to close the channel down. That'd be on you. So anyway, welcome to the stream. Charlie, Proco, Triple Crown, Riff, Murdy, Adam, Rojo, Tom Rabin, Cal, Ben, British, Finlay. Welcome all to the stream. He's just not seen a dog's face like that before. He's a chihuahua. They do look a bit funny. He's alright. Nothing wrong with him. How we doing, Danny? Good to see you, Lonnie. Ekatike replacements. Honestly, if I was selling him, I'd maybe Thiago, but I don't know if I'd go like Watkins. Because I think the likes of Bruno, Palmer, Saka are better to have in midfield. Like maybe if you've already got an Arsenal triple up and you're happy with Rice, then I guess you could go for Watkins. But in my case, I've got Saka, but I want Bruno. I want Palmer from Game Week 24. So it means I can't afford an expensive forward. So Ekatike down to a cheap forward is the plan. So it'd probably be Barnes. However, obviously Mane from Wolves has been playing a lot recently. He's 4.5 mil. Goal, assist, 3 bonus last match. He almost got DEFCON as well. Let's be honest, love you Oscar, but Chihuahuas definitely have their issues. Yeah, to be fair, he's proper chill for a Chihuahua. He's proper chill. Most of the time. He's not one of those weird pocket Chihuahuas. He's quite big. One time I was walking him with Miss Focal and someone was coming the opposite way. It was just a nice walk along the canal and someone goes, "Fucking hell, that's a chunky dog." I was like, whoa, what do you mean chunky? And another time someone was like, "Oh, he's lovely, what's his name?" And I was like, "Oh, he's Teddy." And then they went, "Oh, he's a lovely chocolate slab." I was like, "Chocolate slab?" He just gets rinsed. And then now on the stream he's getting rinsed. Poor guy. Talking about your missus. I should hope not. Chocolate slab. Honestly, that's what she said, this lady. What were we talking about? There's something to... I forgot what I was saying. How we doing, Sonny? Poor Teddy. So, I think it was something about Brute. Yeah, so I think Ekitike is going to have to... Oh yeah, I was talking about the forward. So Mane, 4.5 mil, goal assist last match. And then maybe Krupi just got more appealing as well. Because Kluivert has had to have knee surgery. He's out for a while. So I think there's a good chance Krupi's going to start more than he did before. And he's on like 6 goals this season. So I think Krupi's actually great as well. So maybe the best front three is Haaland, Krupi and Mane. And you just pump the money into your midfield and defence. How are we doing, Jago? Foden to Turkey to save money. Well, basically instead it's going to be Foden to Bruno, Gameweek 24. So I'll give Foden Brighton home, Man United away, Wolves home, and then he's gone. I do get what you mean. Like, Turkey's looking so good for a lot cheaper. The new West Ham striker is only 5.5 mil, but he plays for West Ham. Yeah, I need to see a lot more from West Ham, and I don't even know who the new guy is. I saw it on Twitter earlier, and I saw that Wilson's contract has been terminated, but yeah, no chance. Honestly, I think that'll be the way to go. If I was wildcarding right now, I would have Mane, Krupi, and Haaland, Krupi, and Mane. That'd probably be my front three. Joe, they said don't listen to him, Teddy. I mean, Teddy. Joe said don't listen to him. What's the best free hit? I wouldn't free hit this week. I would save it 100%. This is not a good week to free hit for me. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, I did upload it. There's a potential double Gameweek 26 for Arsenal. I just threw this together earlier, just a quick graphic on it. It depends on the League Cup semi-finals. Arsenal playing against Chelsea. So if Arsenal beat Chelsea, then they have a good chance of doubling in Gameweek 26. So Arsenal's double would be Brentford away, Wolves away. And Wolves have had a double of Forest away, Arsenal home. So I don't think I'd have any Wolves assets. Maybe I'd already have Mane, but I don't even know if you'd start him in a double like that. I guess maybe you would. So yeah, if Arsenal beat Chelsea in the League Cup semi-final, there's a decent chance of that happening. Newcastle, Sunderland, Everton and Chelsea have also got a chance of doubling in 26 or maybe 27. But in their case, Newcastle and Chelsea have to finish in the top 8 in the Champions League, because then they don't have playoffs, and that means they've got the 3 midweek slots. I think right now they're like 13th, 14th or something, so it depends on that as well, but they could also double. So I'm like, what's the best Arsenal triple up right now, guys? If I said to you, new chip, Arsenal triple up, activate it and you can have any Arsenal triple up, who are you going with? What's the Arsenal triple up? Is it double defence? Is it one defender, Rice, Saka? Pat says start order Mukiele, Ekitike, Anderson, Zobo, Timber. I would start Timber, I'd start Mukiele, and then it would be Anderson, Zobo, Ekitike. Timber, Mukiele, Anderson, Zobo, Ekitike. So best triple ups. Rice, Gabriel, Saka. Timber, Gabriel, Rice. Saka, Rice, Gabriel. Gabriel, Timber, Saka. So Gabriel is a lock. So then it's like, who do you have after Gabriel, basically? Do you go Timber and a mid, or do you go double mids, Rice, Saka? Yeah. For me, it's I don't think I'm going to get to Rice. I just can't see it happening. Because I could sell Raya and then upgrade one of my defenders to Gabriel. I'm looking at that. So like Raya to Sanchez. Just going back to that graphic actually. So Arsenal could have a good chance of doubling in 26 if they beat Chelsea in the League Cup semi-finals. But if Chelsea beat Arsenal, then Chelsea have a good chance if they finish top 8 in the Champions League. So if I was to do Raya to Sanchez to fund like O'Reilly to Gabriel, then I've kind of got a hedge against it. I've got Chelsea's great fixture run, and I've got Chelsea's potential double if they beat Arsenal. Anyway, I might be overthinking it a bit too early, but yeah. Long story short, Arsenal and Wolves are the likeliest to double in 26. So we have to see about the others, especially after the Champions League games and the League Cup semi-finals. Question from Mark: 1 free transfer, 0.1 mil. Ride Dubravka, Keane, Gabriel, Van Dijk, Cucurella. Okay, what do I do here? Roll or wildcard? I wouldn't wildcard that for sure. I would roll that for sure. Yeah, that looks like a roll to me. So you play Raya, you play Keane, Gabriel, Cucurella. Who have Burnley got? Burnley got Man United. Probably play Van Dijk. So how many midfielders you got? You got Cherki, Cunha, Saka, Anderson. So it'll have to be a 4-4-2. I would roll, Mark, if I were you. The thing is, obviously there are like little things you could improve this week. But I've just got this feeling, and I've said this in videos, that I think transfers are going to be so invaluable in the coming weeks. This week is just looking awful. But very few have got Palmer. No one's got Bruno. I think those are two massive assets that people are going to want to get to. But then if you've got like Ekatike, like you do for example, Mark, then that's 2 transfers as well to downgrade Ekatike to fund it. So if you actually just look at the next few weeks, there's so many transfers that people are going to want to make. And I think a lot of people aren't going to have enough for it. This is Dave says, I'm addicted to taking hits. It's like a drug. How do I stop taking hits? I think there's going to be a lot of hits. So despite my team looking really ropey, I think I'm rolling this week, almost certainly. There'd have to be some massive news before the deadline for me to change my mind on that now. So that'll get me up to 4 transfers. And then I'll look to spend those in the next few weeks. So that's what I would do, Mark, if I were you. Short-term loss, long-term gain, hopefully. Fudgy says, Hall, Tarkowski, and then Dorgu, Alderete, Anderson. Which one do I start? Start Dorgu for sure. He's got Burnley. I think he has to still start. Obviously, it's going to be Fletcher in charge now. 100% on Haaland captaincy sounds about right. Honestly, it's been a while, but 100% on the experts videos were on Haaland captain. People asking about Tom's team. I don't know, basically, because we didn't do the video this week because I didn't have enough time, just because of the turnaround. So I'll send him a quick WhatsApp because I forgot to do that. Let's see. I think he's going to roll. Because he made 3 transfers last week. So his team's going to be well set up for this week. So I think he's probably going to roll. Because he'll be on, I think he's going to be on 3 transfers. So he'll want to roll to 4. He's also looking at Palmer and Bruno from 24. I think he's actually looking at Palmer from 22. I'm looking at Palmer from 24. Just want to see a few more games from Palmer, like good minutes, showing some form. So yeah, but I think he's actually looking to buy Palmer in 22, so I think he's going to roll. HRH, how we doing? He says, hey Oscar, my team is Raya, Hall, O'Reilly, Mukiele, Anderson, Thiago, Ekatike, Jorginho, Roden, Dubravka. Roll, or do I do Jorginho to Anderson or Enzo? 0.9 mil, good luck all. Enzo. I wouldn't do Anderson. Anderson just feels like such a boring pick. It's just a DEFCON monster, isn't he, basically? I think, yeah, around that price, Enzo's nice. And Tavernier as well, I think, is interesting. Because he takes some corners, direct free kicks. He's probably going to be on pens as well. Because of the Cliver injury. And maybe his goal share goes up in general. Because someone's going to have to score the goals. Yeah, Tom just replied. He said he's rolling, guys. So, for those asking about Tom's team, he's rolling. Haaland captain. Cunha vice. So do you go Tavernier or Enzo? Because Enzo's quite nice. So I'm set up really similar to you, HRH, and I'm just not sure. If you go for Enzo, does he block you from having Bruno and Palmer potentially in Game Week 24? Because I think that's something you have to be careful with, because you might be using up all your money there and then you just can't do it. Whereas Jorginho to Tavernier frees up a bit of money as opposed to Enzo. And then you can do like Ekitike down to a cheaper forward in 24, one in the mids up to Bruno, maybe Palmer. So I'll just have a look at that HOH, see how your team looks in 24 if you were to get Enzo. Enzo's better than Tavernier for sure. But it's all about the future combinations as well. I would have a good look at Tavernier if I were you. I think he's a nice option now. Yeah, in fact, Tom said as well, it's a very strong role for him this week. It's hard to find any logical move. That's what I was saying just then, really. It's one of those weeks where there's just no clear big moves to make, whereas upcoming weeks do have those. I'm sorry, but your graphics fry my eyes. I can't look at them for long, lol. They're so bright. YouTube needs to do some kind of dark mode for videos. Maybe one day they'll do that. Do you guys use dark mode or light mode? I'll do a poll. Light mode or dark mode? Light mode or dark mode? Bacon Man says he uses light mode. They're not even that bright. Yeah, I don't know which graphics you mean. I guess like some of them have a white background, but what can I do about that if it's like white? Like that graphic just then with the Arsenal double Gameweek 26. I could technically make this with a black background, but I don't really think about how bright it is on the screens, to be honest. Just dim your screen. What's the poll saying? 81% dark mode. What? I don't expect that. We'll keep going with the questions. FPL says, hi Oscar, 2 free transfers. Can you please rank Chow, Tarkowski and Chalobah in for Van Dijk? And rank Thiago, Watkins, Bowen for Ekitike. Start Timber or Wilson. So ranking Chow, Tarkowski, Chalobah. I would say Tarkowski, then Chow, then Chalobah. I'd be tempted to keep Van Dijk if I were you. That's my plan. But I do get the temptation. But I'm actually going to keep him. For at least the Burnley game. Maybe longer. It just feels a bit luxury right now. I'm just going to have to start him. And I know this week I can bench him, but it feels really luxury selling Van Dijk to me. I don't know, maybe you guys disagree. I know some people have sold him and it's worked nicely, so I'm just trying to avoid hits, and there's so many transfers I want to make. I need Gabriel, I want Bruno, I want Palmer. I need to downgrade Ekitike to free up the money for midfield. It's just, I've got so many transfers to make. But yeah, Tarkowski for sure. Ekitike replacements, again, I think I'm keeping him for the Burnley home game, but I guess I do get it if you want to sell. I would rank them as Thiago, Watkins, and then Bowen. Start Timber over Wilson. User says, hi mate, Happy New Year. 4 free transfers. Van Dijk, Ekitike, Minte, Senesi to Gabriel, Mane, Palmer, Coyote. I like that. Coyote, I've not really looked at him at all. How much is Coyote? Is he 4.5? Are there any better 4.5s? I guess he might be one of the best. And he's got a good fixture this week. Shame about Van den Berg losing this spot. I mean, he could be back in this one because of the quick turnaround, but in general, yeah, he's just not a buy, is he? Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Again, I'm actually keeping Van Dijk and Ekitike, and I'm going to sell them after the Burnley game, but as far as 4 transfers goes, that looks nice. Like, I can bench them both this week as well, so I don't know. Let us know in chat if you've got Ekitike. We'll do a poll as well. Like, are you keeping him for the Burnley game at least, or are you selling? If you're not an Ekitike owner, you're gonna have to sit this one out. Are you holding or selling? In fact, I'll put don't own as well, so everyone can get involved. So if you've got him, what are you doing this week? It's just also there's a nice gap between the two games. Like it's not, Gameweek 22 is not next weekend. It's the one after. 17th of January. Today's the 6th. So that game is in 11 days. If he still can't be ready for that, then I give up. Because Slot said he's fit. Did he? I mean, I had a very different quote just then from Slot. He said it's going to be a thin line and difficult balance. If a player's not available on a Sunday, is he available 4 days later? Ruben says, would you do Ekitike to Thiago, Minte to Bruno G for a -4 and then roll next few with the plan of Cunha to Bruno and Foden down to Rodgers? I don't dislike it for a -4, but again, I just want to keep him. Like, I'm not even selling him for free. I'd rather just do like Minte to Tavernier if I were you. Minte to Tavernier, perhaps. Like, Bournemouth's fixtures long term look really, really nice. He's on direct free kicks, probably penalties now, or until Semenyo goes, which is soon. Some corners as well, plus the great fixtures. He's only 5.6 mil. I'd rather do that than take a hit, but it's not a bad -4 at all. Alsenia Lump, good evening, Oscar. Wishing you a good game week. Love you, he says. Thank you very much. Akshat says, start Dorgu or Guehi. That Palmer pick is crazy, by the way. I would start Dorgu, yeah. You got to start Dorgu against Burnley. That tweet blew up. Let me try and find it. It's from Alex Volo. So like, oh, you can't see it. He posted that. So I quite tweeted. His face swapped me onto Palmer. Like I wouldn't notice. Oh dear. That's basically Palmer this season. But yeah, I think I'm going to buy him, but not this week. I've lost chat. Where's chat? It is. Hang on, that one was the one that wasn't Photoshopped. No, I think it was an AI face swap. Frederick says, hi Oscar, Phil, I have a bench headache. Pick for Timber, Gabriel, Nunes, Tarkowski, Palmer right. I wish I had a bench headache, by the way. So you got John, Rodgers, Alderete and Barnes on the bench. So yeah, it's like, do you start Rodgers? You got to start Rodgers over Garner. I would definitely start Rodgers over Garner. The rest makes sense, yeah. I'll just make that swap personally. Garner first on bench. C-Max says, can you rate my wildcard? Verbruggen, Kelleher, Timber, Gabriel, Chow, Tarkowski, Chalobah, Rice, Palmer, Bruno, Rodgers, Enzo, Haaland, Mane, Barnes. Or do I go? No, I think you got it right. If I was wildcard, and I would have the same setup on the front three. So Haaland and then 2 dead spots. C-Mac. What would I do differently on a wildcard? Would I have Chalobah? If I was wildcarding, it would be something like this. So you definitely have Gabriel. I think I'd probably chuck Chow in. I'd be tempted to keep O'Reilly, you know. Maybe Collins. To start him this week. I'd probably leave Mukiele in. Saka, Foden. Probably reluctantly lose Cunha, but add Gordon. I think I'd actually go Palmer on a wild card. I think you had him, did you? Palmer, Bar. So you lose Ekitike for like a Barnes. Go Croupy here. 6.2 for the last spot. Tavernier. Yeah. There you go. That's 0.6 mil on the bank. So you could probably even have Mane. You don't have to. I think Barnes is fine. I think I prefer Croupy to Mane, despite the hype from last game week. I think that would be my wildcard team. So if you want to compare notes, something like that. It's very similar to yours. Do you guys agree with that on a wildcard? If you want to just go back, compare, then just rewind. But that would be the wildcard team. This is my actual team. God, how rough does that look? Don't think I'd have Thiago on a wild card. Yeah, I'd go Haaland and then 2 super cheap forwards. Mark says, hi Oscar, what defender to replace Lacroix? 3.1 mil on the bank. You've got Triple City and you're getting Gabriel on Gameweek 22 or 23. I would just get him this week if you're selling Lacroix. Just get Gabriel now. Or are you saying you're already on triple Arsenal? Van Dijk. If not, Chow from Newcastle. I nearly went O'Reilly to Chow last week, and I wish I'd done that. Never mind, those points are gone. Phantom Tweaker, what a name. Phantom says bench 1, Dorgu, Mateus, and Raul. I would bench Raul against Chelsea. Out of those 3. Jimmy says Stack or Jimenez to start. Will Van den Berg play? In theory, Van den Berg should play just because of the amount of games they're playing. It's like their 4th game in 12 days or something. I thought he might have started last match and he didn't though. But I would say Van den Berg will. And Leeds have got who? I can't remember who Leeds got. Let me just double check that before I answer. Oh, Newcastle away. That's super close. Probably start Jimenez over Stack. No, I think I'd start Stack over Jimenez, but that is 50-50, honestly. Stack's great. I think Stack and Lefay are so ridiculously good for how cheap they are. Nair11 says, start Van Dijk or Stack. I would start Stack out of those 2, yeah. Yasser, message retracted. Didn't see what it said. Ewan says, hi Oscar, maintain Raya to Enzo and Roofs or roll? No, I'd roll. I don't think Minte will play this week either. But I'd say roll. Unless you need Minte to play, then maybe Minte to Tavernier looks good. Airwave says tomorrow's going to be a juicy day. Mate, honestly, tomorrow's fixtures. You know, like, what scores app do you guys use? Like Flash Scores or Sofa Score or whatever. Or FotMob or something else. You know, like, it shows when there's a big chance. And you're like, oh, there's going to be a goal. Like, when there's 8 games on at the same time. And you're going to be like, beep, you're going to see like big chances everywhere. And you're going to be like, is it going to be so hard to keep up with all the goals and the goal scorers, let alone the assists? Everyone uses FotMob? Nah. Flash Scores is goated. Flash Scores for life. Sofa Score for life. Flash Scores, FotMob. Live Score. I've always used Flash Scores myself. Never done me wrong. Adam, how we doing, Adam? Good to see you, mate. But yeah, tomorrow's stacked. Tonight's a bit dead. I haven't got anyone playing tonight. Jack says, vice captain on Saka, Rogers, Thiago or Foden? Probably Foden out of those 4. Home to Brighton. Dylan says, would you go Watkins and Devaney or Rogers and Mane? Watkins, Watkins costs so much more, so I think Rogers and Mane. Plus, Rogers gives you that easier route to like a Bruno later if you want to make that swap. Watkins, on the other hand, requires 2 transfers. So I'd say Rogers, Mane. DK says, why is everyone sleeping on the Kelleher Petrovic rotation? I've not looked at that, honestly. What's so good about that? Kelleher, where's I don't like rotating keepers, honestly. I'm likelier to go just a set and forget starter like Sanchez or Raya. Where's Brentford? There. Sort by rotation. So if we go how far ahead? Like 10 weeks or so. So remove Chelsea, remove Palace, remove West Ham. It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm likely to go Sanchez and Dubravka, or ride Dubravka. This is the fixture ticker tool, FPL page, if you want to play around with it, or FPL Focal in the App Store. It's free. Chris says, start 2, bench 1, Timber, Zobo, Rice. I would start the Arsenal guys, yeah, in the home fixture there. Bench Zobo. So, the poll was Ekitike owners, are you holding or are you selling? 60% are holding. 61, just gone up. 22% selling. 17% don't own. I'll do one for Van Dijk owners as well. Oh yeah, chuck your guesses in the chat as well. Who's going to be the king of Gameweek 21? It was Thiago last week. Top scorer this week. What are we saying? And the poll is up as well. But get your guesses in the chat in terms of the top scorer this week. Aaron says Minte and Ekitike for Palmer and Mane, or Minte to Tavernier. I think I'll do the Palmer Mane, as long as you don't need to start Mane. Mane's a bit dodgy to start. It's okay, I suppose. I don't know. I think Mane's likely to get you 2 points and returns again this week. But if he scores again, he's the next big bandwagon. But yeah, I think when you got Minte and Ekitike, I'd be inclined to do that swap. Nah, I think I'll do Minte to Tav and make the swap after the Burnley game, honestly. Minte to Tav first. Bruno G, Gordon, Cunha, Lefay, mate. If it's Lefay, next week I'll give 10 memberships to the stream. I'll give 20 if it's Lefay. I'll give 10. I'll give 10 if Lefay hits double-digit points. I'll give 10 memberships to the stream. If he's king of the game week, 20. Omar says it'll be Semenyo, Foden, Palmer, Tarkowski. Chow was... Oh, yeah. It actually was Chow. But the FPL website's broken and it's not showing the cheapest player anymore. Reece James will be king. Zach, thank you for the super chat. Anthony Gordon or Bruno G for the next 2 weeks? I prefer Gordon, honestly. I know Bruno G's doing pretty well, but I like Gordon more. They're pretty close, but Gordon's got the pens. His minutes aren't quite as good. It's quite close, but I'd say Gordon for 2 weeks. What's Tom doing? Tom's rolling this week. He got really unlucky last week. His team was unbelievable last week, and when I looked at it, I was like, you might remember I said in the last week's stream, I was like, he's overtaken me this week. His team's so good. He brought in Gordon, he brought in Cherky, and he brought in Tarkowski. And obviously all 3 blanked. But because he had such a good team, he had to bench Thiago. That was the problem. So he had Thiago's hat-trick on his bench. Because his starting 11 was so good. But he's about 100k, he's in a great spot still. Don't forget to subscribe below, guys, if you're enjoying the stream. Welcome anyone that's usually an FPL Harry regular. Free hit team. I wouldn't free hit this week. Honestly, you'll get so much more from it later. First of all, it's a pretty dead game week. The fixtures aren't great. It's not like Goalfest fixtures. It's like the busy winter period, and the fixtures suck anyway. Plus, there's going to be doubles and blanks later, where you're going to get more from it. So I would save the free hit for sure. Ideally, you want to save your wild card as well. British says I'm a focal regular. Appreciate you, British. Dan regular here. Is he not streaming? Welcome anyone as well that's normally an FPL mate regular. Is he on holiday as well? What's up with all these FPL YouTubers going away? I wish I was on holiday. Paul says there's 2,300 watching, just 300 likes. Come on, all get liking. Prince says he's a focal local. I like that, focal local. Can we see the clean sheet odds? Of course. So Arsenal have actually gone top. I wonder if that's to do with the Ekatike uncertainty. Hell, YouTubers. Hell, YouTubers. I have to tell Harry you said that. Yeah, that's the clean sheet odds. So Arsenal are joint top despite having Liverpool. Liverpool home, 40% chance. Wolves, 40%. Brentford, 38. Man United, 36. Same for Newcastle. Man City, Chelsea, Villa, Forest. City miles ahead on projected goals this week, though. At least you care about your subscribers, unlike others taking a holiday. Oh, I've got to send that to Harry as well. Hey, they're entitled to take holidays when they want. I normally go on during international breaks, honestly. Almost Focal. The only time she can ever go on holiday with me is when it's an international break or when the season's over. I actually just got a screenshot of that before it goes because I love winding Harry up. I do wind them up. Well, he winds me up as well, to be fair. We've got a group chat, me, him and Ross. Oh, he's going to be asleep. He's not even going to see it because he's in Australia. Is anyone tuned in from Australia right now? Surely not. I think it's the early hours. I think he's set an alarm for like half 4 a.m. or something. Dan says, where are you going tonight looking dapper, mate? I'm not going anywhere. Night in. Night in with Teddy. Can you see the bottom of the odds? Brighton at bottom for clean sheets. Liverpool bottom for projected goals. Liverpool near bottom as well, actually, on the clean sheet odds. So there you go. So where does that all leave us for the top transfers this week? Gabriel is number one. 750,000 honestly, if Gabriel scores again, I'm done with this game. You're watching from Perth, 1:15 a.m. Shout out to Perth. I've been to Perth before and it's unbelievable. Had the absolute time of my life there. Perth is so fun. I went down down the west coast. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Windy Harbour or something. They all gone on holiday together and not invited you, Focal. I know, unbelievable. I don't think Harry and Dan have gone on holiday together, but maybe they have. I think it's a family holiday. Thiago's second, then Rice, then Watkins, Bruno, G, Chow, Rogers, Tarkowski. So most sold. Ekatike. Also, this in a weird way makes me want to keep Ekatike, because let's assume when Liverpool play in 11 days, he's fine. Ekatike is going to end up like nearly differential for Burnley home. Foden second most sold. Vardy, Voltamada, Semenyo, Timber. I guess they're going to Gabriel, aren't they? Guay, Sakaraya. Yeah, I think Gabriel's going up tonight. Question from Quasar. Start Raya over Roofs or Rate over Anderson. Yeah, Raya over Roofs. On those clean sheet odds, Arsenal were tops. So, oh, I've lost it. Sorry, where are the odds? And then what was it? Alderete over Anderson. 19% for Alderete. Anderson also 19. God, that's honestly a coin toss. I would say Alderete, honestly. But would I? Yeah, probably. I'm surprised those odds are similar. I feel like Chelsea's a much harder fixture than Brentford away, but I would say Alderete. Excuse me. Oh, it was Windy Harbour. I thought I remembered it right. This was like almost... It's about 8 years ago. I did like coast to coast in Australia. I knew some people out there, so I went solo. Started in Perth and then went over to the other side, over to the Whit Sundays. Oh god, I forgot about that holiday. So I went to the Whit Sundays, and you go on this boat to the absolute middle of nowhere. and we're on this boat, and I put my bag down in the corner in the boat, and it's like a really dodgy, like, old boat. Like, it's probably been running for about 20 years. It's like one of the most incredible places I've ever been to. It looks like this. But I put my bag down in the corner, and I go up, do a bit of sunbathing, and I come back, and the boat has flooded, and my bag of all my possessions, all my clothes, on the first day of the trip away, my bag is underwater. And obviously I couldn't wash it or anything, so it was incredible once we got there, but my bag was literally underwater. Everything was soaked. I had nothing to wear. It was all salty. Would recommend. Sean says 451. What's W24? Wildcard 24. Palmer, Foden, Saka, Bruno, Rice. Horror trip from the get-go. Passport. Oh, don't. Hey, that word is banned around here. Passport. after losing that last holiday. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd have Foden in that midfield on 24. But other than that, yeah. Maybe Cherky over Foden, but yeah, that looks great. That's a stacked midfield right there. Nature washed it for you. Best goal is under 5 mil. Isn't Sanchez 4.9? I think, I can't remember his name. The interim manager said he's going to be back for the Fulham game. So I'd say Sanchez. I might buy Sanchez in Gameweek 22, assuming he plays against Fulham. Dan says start Ekitike over Anderson, surely. I don't know. I've ended up dropping Ekitike to the bench, just in case like Ekitike starts from the bench. And the quote from Slot doesn't sound great. He said, it's always going to be a thin line and a difficult balance. If a player is not available on Sunday, is he then available in 4 days? He might not even be in the squad at all again. In which case it wouldn't matter. But like, what if he's on the bench and comes on, 1 pointer? Or what if he starts and, you know, he's only able to play about 60, maybe he doesn't get it to 60 minutes. I don't know, yeah, it's really close. Anderson is likely to get DEFCON, isn't he? But he's probably going to concede. If Ekitike can score an assist, that's worth more points, but he's less likely to do that. And also Anderson helps me avoid attacker versus defender, so that's slightly more upside. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll poll it. So 31% of Van Dijk owners are holding him, 29% are selling, 40% don't own. Who to start? Poll is up. Samuel Sop says bench Lacroix, Wilson or Tavernier. What's Palace's fixture? One sec. They've got Villa home. I'd probably bench Wilson out of those three. Yeah, start Lacroix and Tavernier. Nata, thanks for the 41 months. 0.1 mil on the bank, 1 free transfer, Ekitike and Minte bench, Minte to Tavernier. Yeah, I like Minte to Tavernier or not. I think Minte probably misses out, and Ekitike it's got to be a hold, assuming he's fine for Burnley home. People keep asking Ross. Oscar's changed his name now. I think people are in the wrong stream if they're calling me Ross. Simon says Raya, Anderson, Gabriel, Van Dijk, Mukiele, Foden. 1 free transfer. Would you just roll if you were me? Tuned in from Australia. Yeah, I'd roll if I were you, Simon. Appreciate you tuning in so late at night or early hours as well. But yeah, that looks like a roll. That looks like a roll to me. How's the music volume, by the way? Is it okay? Not too loud, not too quiet. This one's a tune. Timothy says, play Anderson versus Chelsea or Mane versus Everton. Oh, you got to start Mane, haven't you? After he just scored a goal and assist, and Everton just shipped like 4 goals. pretty close. I think Mane. Mane against Everton. Honestly, if he gets something again this week, like scores again, he's going to be the next big bandwagon. So, 52% say start Ekitike, 48% Anderson. That does not help at all. Well, 2%. Nothing in it. Song name. I actually can't remember. It's on my channel. I think it's called Cello. It's just a remix I made of the usual Focal song. There's a few songs on my channel. Welcome back for another stream. Bench 1, DCL, Wilson or Anderson? Anderson. Timothy says, play Anderson. Oh, sorry, I did that already. Play Timber alongside... Oh, it's gone. What did that say? Play Timber alongside Gabriel and Tarkowski, or play Dorgu or Anderson. I feel like you got to play Dorgu against Burnley, so probably Dorgu over Timber. That is what I'd do there. Like if he plays out of position again as well. Chris says it's 52-48%. What could possibly go wrong? It doesn't help narrow it down. Yeah, I think that one's on a knife edge. Let's have a look at the scout selection. How many players have you got from the team? They've gone Pope, Gabriel, Keane, Senesi, Saka, Cunha, Bruno G, Barnes, Haaland, Watkins and Thiago. Focal, why aren't you doing this? Doing what? Why aren't I doing what? So for me, it's just... I don't even have Gabriel. I've got Saka, Cunha and Haaland and Thiago. 4 for me this week. That's frozen. Oscar, you're such a cutie. Thanks very much. That's a great message for chat to start working again to read. Well, Ekitike will play. Triple captain Erling. No, I'm triple captain in a double game week, 100%. Saving it. Why is he dressed up like he's headed out? I'm getting rinsed today just for like looking good for the stream. I'm making the effort here. You're not making the effort. First it was Teddy getting rinsed, then it was me getting rinsed. So yeah, 4 for me this week from the scout. Oh, this could be a bad week. My team looks down bad. That's frozen as well. Any news on Bruno? I think he's got a chance of making the squad. I wouldn't buy him for sure. I think he's going to be back really soon. I'm looking at Gameweek 24 to buy him. Any news on Calafiori? You've got Hincapie. I believe I read that he's out again. I'm sure I read he's out till end of January. Or was that... I don't know if that was reliable though, but I remember it popping up on my timeline. I actually couldn't tell you if it was reliable, but I think Hincapie is going to be safe again. There's no way he risks Lewis Skelly. I'll show you the tweet. I actually couldn't tell you, but they wouldn't have just made it up, surely. Oh, have we frozen? No. Have we? Are we alive? Oh, we are. Calafiori out till the end of January. Hincapie expected to occupy left back. So, yeah, I think you're okay with Hincapie. Should be alright to hold him for longer. Right, let's keep going. Tiger says Minte to Enzo, Tavernier or Lafay. I think between those three, Enzo's obviously the best one, but Tavernier... I mean, Tavernier and Lefay are like potentially amazing value because they've got some corners, direct free kicks, penalties, and they're super cheap, and they've got some good fixtures coming up. Enzo's better, but obviously you just need to... It's all about the combinations in your team. Like, can you still afford all the players you want? Like in my case, I can't afford Bruno and Palmer in 24 and Enzo, so something's got to give. Maybe Enzo is just a better alternative to Palmer. Maybe we don't even need to be thinking about Palmer, but I want to leave the option open. So you need to you have to check that basically. It's hard to say what you can afford. Like Tavernier is great. I'd say Tavernier. Omni Tower says, hi mate, any news on... Oh, so that was the... Yeah, okay, so I missed the one before from Tiger. Got it. Simon says, my team, Raya O'Reilly. Turn that down a bit. Raya O'Reilly, Gabriel, Chow, Van Heck, Mukiele, Cunha, Foden, Semenyo, Tavernier, Anderson, Haaland, Ekitike, Thiago. 4 free transfers, any advice? So you start O'Reilly, Gabriel, Chow, and Mukiele, Cunha, Foden, Semenyo, Tavernier. You've got this team and 4 free transfers. How have you pulled that off? So yeah, play a 4-4-2, and I would bench Van Heck, Anderson and Ekitike, and roll to 5. That's such a great team. I can't believe you've got that team and 4 free transfers. Fair play. How's everyone doing rank wise after last game week? You guys go up or down? What's everyone's overall rank? 13 Killing says, I've got Gabriel, Kanate, O'Reilly and Dorgu. Stack Anderson, Q on the bench, 1 free transfer. I could roll maybe. What are your thoughts about your chips? Have a good stream. So I would say, yeah, I'd look to roll there. I'd play Stack over Kanate and roll if I were you, because you've only got 1 transfer. So yeah, I think everyone needs to roll wherever possible right now, because you're going to want to bank some. Slowly climbing, but over 1 million. 3.4k Bertman. 500k up to 800k. 67th in the world. Damn. 300k, 67k. Start Ekitike or Alderete. I would start Alderete. Well, I've started Mukiele, so basically the same situation as you there. 53k, very nice. 77k. Last week was my smallest arrow of the season, I think. I have bled and rank a bit in recent weeks because I've just not been making transfers, and I don't know, a few things have gone wrong. But I'm happy with 40k, to be honest. I think this week's going to be tough. But look, I went 40.6 to 40.1. I need to get back to higher ranks, but can't complain. Rank 3, yeah, right. Senesi or O'Reilly to start. O'Reilly. Is Minte confirmed out? I think he's a big doubt. I put it in the news widget, which will appear on your left hand side in a sec. I can't remember what I wrote there, but I got the news before I went live and wrote it there. There's something like he's a big doubt. Oh, there it goes. He's got a minor chance of playing, so yeah, not great. C98AN says, hi Oscar, got a bench in dilemma. Got to bench one of Dorgu, Timber, Gabriel, O'Reilly of Voltamada. I reckon Voltamada starts this time, right? I would have thought so. It wouldn't make sense to force Visser into the starting 11 again. Because wouldn't that be 3 starts in like 7 days? I would be really surprised. So I think actually Voltamada should be alright. So out of all of those, I'd probably bench O'Reilly. Arsenal have got the best clean sheet odds, or joint best of Everton. So logically, you play Timber. Timber's better than O'Reilly for expected goal involvement as well. So the numbers all point towards Timber. Might not play out that way because obviously Brighton home's nice, but I would bench O'Reilly. 0604 says start one. Ekatike, Anderson, Stack or Mane. I would start Stack out of those, personally. Yeah, I don't think I'd start Ekatike or Mane. Anderson probably gets Defcon. I'd probably start Stack. Excuse me. Oh, what did that say about something according to Fletcher? Bruno and Mount on limited minutes, so they might make the bench and come on. Fair enough. That's great. It lines up nicely with buying Bruno and Gameweek 24. Don't know why I did that animation. I didn't need that. Burnley away. Keep Cunha. I might do something like Cunha to Szoboszlai for 2 games, because those two are horrendous. And Szoboszlai's got Burnley home, Bournemouth away. I might even do Gakpo, but it depends on if I make any other moves. Like if I buy Gabriel on 22, then I can't do Gakpo. I just can't shake the feeling that Gakpo is way better than Szoboszlai, even though Szoboszlai's got the pens. Didn't know Focal brought the bangers on the deadline streams. Hey, this one was made by yours truly. I've got a hidden channel on YouTube where I post songs, but I'm never going to reveal it. Simon says, hi, Simon from Australia again. My bench is Gudmundsson, Dewsbury Hall and Gw, no cover. Do I buy Chow for Gudmundsson and bench Van Dijk, or do you still think I tank and roll? So no bench cover. I would, yeah, I'd still roll. Honestly, I think it's worth the roll. I think you keep Van Dijk for Burnley home. Chow does look great, but I would roll. Will Semenyo play? Yeah, Semenyo should play. I think the what's it called? The release clause is activated on the 10th, so he will play. Bereda says, hi, I must start 4 out of Van Dijk, Gabriel, Timber, Alderete and Mukiele. 2 free transfers. I would start Gabriel, Timber, Alderete, Mukiele and bench Van Dijk. 2 free transfers. Van Dijk to Chow. Mini league owners only own Alderete from Sunderland defence. You think I'll be able to gain from double up? Honestly, I wouldn't ever think about mini league leaders and all that too much. I used to do that and it ends up costing you, from my experience. You start overthinking everything you do. I literally wouldn't even look at their team and just keep playing your own game. And then maybe look at it, you know, like the last 5-6 game weeks when we're into double game week season and all that. Until then, honestly, I just wouldn't let your mini league rivals live in your head rent free. Just play your own game. Like, obviously you could just check the standings and that sort of thing, and you might be like, oh, I'm actually catching up. But I don't know if I would put too much thought into what they've done and what they've got. I probably wouldn't sell Van Dijk. No, just bench him. Mega says, would you start Ekatike if you had triple Arsenal defence or Anderson over him? I would start Anderson, yeah. I've started Anderson myself. Just, I don't know. If I knew he started and played like 75 plus, then I'd probably take the chance and start him. But I think especially when you've got triple Arsenal defence, because then like there's slightly more upside of Anderson, isn't there? And that quote doesn't sound great. It's always going to be a thin line and a difficult balance. If a player's not available on Sunday, is he then available in 4 days? Maybe he plays, maybe he starts, but I think Anderson's likelier to get Defcon than Ekatike is to get a goal or an assist. All things considered. Obviously goals and assists are worth more, so it's a difficult one, but yeah, I've gone Anderson. Rosa says who to start, Dorgu, Van der Ven or Anderson? Definitely Dorgu. He's playing the worst team in the league for expected goals conceded. He's playing out of position probably. Maybe not, we'll have to see under Fletcher. Chris says best defender 4.4 mil or less. Mukiele, I would say. First name that came to mind. There might be others that I've not thought of, but Mukiele. Any others, you guys? I think Mukiele. Right, let's get a captain poll up. Is it worth doing it? We'll do one anyway. Every time I say is it worth doing, Haaland blanks, so it's worth doing. Haaland, Cunha, Foden and other. Poll is up. MD Gat says, have Raya, Dubravka, Anderson, O'Reilly, Hall, Mukiele, Senesi, Semenyo, Saka, Foden, Cunha, V for Haaland. 2 free transfers, 0.2 in the bank. You're thinking O'Reilly to Gabriel and Semenyo to Wilson. 522k. Don't know if I would do that this week. Nah, I don't like that. O'Reilly to Gabriel is a slight upgrade. Semenyo to Wilson feels a bit dodgy to me. Wilson's got Chelsea. I don't think I would do that. Maybe Semenyo to Tavernier. So you got Hall, Mukiele. Can you afford to sell Senesi instead of O'Reilly? I'd much rather do Senesi to Gabriel if you can afford that. And Semenyo to Tavernier. You got 0.2 mil, so maybe you can just about afford that. See if you've got that. Is that exact money? I like that. That's much better than selling O'Reilly. What would I do if you can't afford that? If you can't afford that, I probably wouldn't do it. Semenyo to Wilson feels like too much of a downgrade. Otherwise, yeah, see if you can sell Senesi and get Tavernier instead of Wilson. D. Doyd says, thoughts on the bench boost while I've got a bench that actually plays before buying a cheap forward that won't play? Nah, I would save the bench boost. For all we know, there's going to be a spectacular double game week later in the season that will be so good for bench boosting that you'll regret using it now. So I'd save it. Especially right now, actually, when the games are so quick in quick succession. There really could be a random bench him. I wouldn't do it. Definitely wouldn't bench boost in a week like this. Right, I actually haven't looked on Twitter or anything for any news. Is there anything we've missed? Let's see what's going on. Let's retweet that. It's the problem is tonight's game is a rubbish one, so we're not going to get team news on that probably. Fletcher says Bruno and Mason should be available for selection on Wednesday night. Well, that's pretty massive, isn't it? Is there anything more on that? What did he say? Fernandez. Bruno. Mason and Bruno were pushing to play against Leeds. The decision is that they weren't quite ready, so they've trained instead. Interesting. So I wonder if he actually starts. It's just too risky to buy, isn't it? Like, what if he doesn't? Yeah, nothing other than that. Fletcher in charge till the end of the season. Right, where did I get to here? Sohan says, hi Oscar, bench one of Ekatike, Zobo and O'Reilly. I think it'd be Ekatike, yeah. Zobo's at least safe for minutes, plus he's on pens. And a good chance of DEFCON, potentially. So I'd bench Ekatike there. Bizzle says, playing a last man standing my boys and already have United picked. Who would you go for among Fulham, Brentford or United? United, definitely. United v Burnley. In theory, you're safe for that. I feel like that's way better than the other two. Yeah, correct decision. Oblivious says, start two, Ekatike, Anderson, Vandenberg. I've got double Arsenal defence. I'd start Vandenberg and Anderson. Bench Ekatike there. That's what I would do. Whoa, we've got 2,600 watching. Thank you all for being here. Do hit subscribe below the stream if you're enjoying it. It's completely free, and I do these streams every week. Don't forget to install the Focal app as well if you haven't got it. That's also free. And it's got loads of useful stuff like your live rank, bonus points, bookies odds, price changes, articles. And if you want to become a member for that as well, you get extra benefits like you can hide the ads, premium tools, and it's only 77p a week. Trusted by over 400,000 FPL managers, so FPL Focal in the App Store if you want to install it, or FPL.page if you're on a PC. Anything on Tom's team? Yeah, Tom's rolling. Tom's just rolling this week. So I think he's on 3 transfers, so yeah, he's going to roll. And I think he might buy Palmer in Gameweek 22. Advice on Voltamada. I think at this point you've got to back him to start. Like, Visser really shouldn't be playing 3 in a week when he's had a serious long injury this season. Logically, there's no way the staff are like, yeah, you can start Visser again. They would say, I would take this opportunity to start Voltamada after 2 benchings. So that's just my best guess. Maybe we can have a look at predicted lineups and see what Newcastle fans are saying. Yeah, so Brighton lineup has, yeah, no Minte, Matoma and Gruder potentially on the wings. Chelsea lineup has got Palmer starting right wing. Yeah, Caicedo's back. Interesting, a few Liverpool lineups have got Ekitike starting. Maybe I'm making a mistake here benching him. Maybe it's mind game some slot asking if he's going to be ready. So here we go, Newcastle. Gameweek 21. Yeah, so 100% I've got Voltamada starting. These are the fan predictions. He is, where is he? He's there. Look, 100% Voltamada. 0% said Visser. So they're saying probably Miley again in right back. Obviously, I wouldn't buy Miley now because Livramento's back shortly. Alpha Lihab says, thoughts on double Arsenal defence. Timber and Cappy also debating Tarkowski or Keane. I think double Arsenal defence is fine. I've had that set up all season. A lot of people are like that. Whether it's Timber, Gabriel Raya, some are on Hincapia still, that's fine. Tarkowski or Keane? If I could pick either, definitely Tarkowski. Obviously costs quite a bit more. But when Branthwaite's back, I don't know exactly when that is. It could be like 3 weeks or something. Keane's a little bit at risk then, so I just wouldn't take the chance anymore on Keane. I think the boat's probably sailed. He's alright very short term, but I like looking longer term of FPL transfers, especially when it's a defender like that. So I would say Tarkowski. What time's the deadline? Ah, perfect. So we've got about 45 minutes. Fahad says, I love your content. A bit of a lengthy message. Should I wildcard or not? My team is Donnarumma, Dubravka, Timber and Cappy, Van Dijk, Anderson, Richards, Saka, Cunha, Faye, Wilson, Stack. Nah, nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that team. Don't wildcard. I know this week a lot of us are looking at our teams and we're like, oh, this isn't great. But to be fair, everyone's sort of in the same boat. There's not, I mean, maybe some of you have got a team where it's like you've managed to dodge all the dodgy fixtures more or less. Look, Oogie Boogie just replied, this is a strong team. Does not need a wildcard. And also, the wildcard is the most powerful chip in the game by far, and you want to be using that later if you can, around doubles or blanks. The bigger doubles. Arsenal have got a chance of doubling in 26. I threw this graphic together earlier. Potential double game at 26 for Arsenal and Wolves. It does depend on the League Cup results if they beat Chelsea in the semi-finals. But yeah, anyway, to answer your question, if anything, I would roll. Timber and Capier, Anderson, so you have to start Van Dijk, Saka, Cunha, Lafay, Wilson, Stack. So you can play 3-4-3. Would it be a 4-3? Yeah, play a 3-5-2, Fahad. Bench Ekitike. And then bench Van Dijk and Richards. Richards will be on the bench for Palace, so he's back, but it probably won't start. I would roll, honestly. Abhishek says start 2 out of Van Dijk, Alderete and the 2 Andersons. I would start Alderete and Forrest Anderson. So yeah, if Arsenal beat Chelsea in the League Cup semi-final, then they'll have a blank, I forget when it is, in 31? Or is it 34? And that fixture has to be moved to another week, and it could go into Gameweek 26. There is a chance also that Newcastle, Sunderland, Everton and Chelsea double in 26 or 27. But for that to happen, Newcastle and Chelsea need to finish a top 8 in the Champions League. Because they finish top 8, then they won't have to play any playoff games. So yeah, if they make top 8, there's no midweek games for them later, and then they could double as well. But again, it depends on the League Cup progression. But yeah, Arsenal Wolves. Potentially. Start Wilson or Tavernier? Tavernier? Freaky Fan Guy says bench 1, Dorgu, Dale, Mukiele. I think you got to play the double defence against Burnley. Better clean sheet odds as well, so it'd have to be Mukiele that misses out there. Bench Mukiele. Ted's still on my lap, by the way. For any of you that have been here since the start of the stream, he's literally still sitting on my lap. What a guy. Bench 1, sorry I did that. Owen says start Miley or Mukiele. Owen Thiago puts me off. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I still think I'd rather Mukiele though. Because Miley is a midfielder playing in right back. He's reverse out of position. So I think I'd go Mukiele still. Miley's got Leeds home though. I suppose he gets the DEFCON. Yeah, no, I'd start Miley. Just about. Yeah, start Miley, Owen. Considering the Thiago as well. Nick says, how's the bench then? He's got Raya, O'Reilly, Gabriel, Keane, Foden, Saka, Wilson. Benches Dubravka, Calvert-Lewin, Alderete and Anderson. You got a really nice team, and I think the bench looks right to me as well. Calvert-Lewin versus Alderete is pretty close, but I'd say Calvert-Lewin first, yeah. Looks good to go. Nice team, Nick. I wouldn't change a thing either. Do I need Cunha to save rank? No, if you haven't got Cunha at this point, I wouldn't buy, honestly, because you buy him this week, you're going to want to sell him in Gameweek 22. It's not worth the in and out like that for 1 week. It is a really nice fixture, but I think the boat has sailed. Just look for a different opportunity, like could be Gakpo in Gameweek 22 when he's got Burnley home. Prince says Anderson to Collins or Chow. I already have Hall. Maybe I should just roll. Yeah, I think this is honestly I think this is a roll week. The upgrades this week feel fairly small to me compared to the upgrades in future upcoming weeks. Like if you're sitting there on like 4 or 5 transfers, fair enough, but most of us aren't. How many free transfers do you guys have? Let us know in chat. I'll do a poll on that as well in a minute. I'll forget, so let me note that down. Does anyone else have to note everything down to not forget? So honestly, I think I'd roll Prince and just stick with Anderson. In theory, you might lose out this week, but you should gain more longer term. Unless you've got 5 transfers, then yeah, fair enough, I'd get Chow. Jake says Verts or Van der Ven. Verts or Van der Ven? A good question. Verts is also like nursing this problem, so I actually think I'd go Van der Ven, honestly. And Verts is facing the best defence in the league. Van der Ven. So Captain Poll, 90% Haaland, 5% Cunha, 2% Foden and 3% other. So, new poll. How many free transfers do you have right now? 0, 1, 2, 3 plus? I can only put 4 options, so it's not the best poll actually, because we've got 3 plus there. Gabriel captain? Surely not, Jed. Surely not. So in terms of, maybe I can just kind of show where I'm at and plan FPL with my team for like future weeks. Does that fit in like that? Or a bit further over? So I could, so this week I could go, so if I roll here, Gameweek 22, I could do Raya to Sanchez, O'Reilly to Gabriel, and I don't know about the third move. I would have 7.4 million. I don't think I'll be able to afford Gakpo because Gabriel's going up tonight. Gakpo's 7.3, so that's really annoying actually. I might be priced out. I think Raya is nearing a fall as well, so maybe it'll be like Zoboslai. Something like that. So that would be, I'll probably start, who would I start here? Ekitike would start. Maybe a bench Thiago against Chelsea. Something like that. So that'd be Gameweek 22. And I've got Timber, I've got Gabriel, and I've got Saka. 23, I would roll. 24, I'll have 3 free transfers. So then it would be Ekitike. He's got Newcastle, so I could go down to like a Barnes. Then it'd be Saka, sorry, Foden to Bruno. And what was the other one? Zoboslai back out after the 2 Gameweek punt to Palmer. So that's one option there, like that. So I would start him there. Bit of a dodgy bench though, but I'd have Timber, I'd have Gabriel, I'd have Sanchez for the great fixtures, Bruno would be in, Palmer would be in, Lafay and Mukiele have got Burnley home. So that's one option. Another one I looked at is I could just do Cunha to, what was it, Gakpo, and then I just ignored Gabriel for now. Forgot what these moves were, and then it was a roll again, roll again. Anyway, you get the gist of it. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm on a roll this week, and then I'll decide what to do in 22. I might get Gabriel on Gameweek 22. Right, where did I get to here? It was from Leaston, who asks who to bench, Mukiele, Chow, Collins or O'Reilly. It's got to be Mukiele out of those 4, right? Mukiele's got the away fixture, aren't the others are playing home. Yeah, bench Mukiele and start the others. Start Chow, start Collins, start O'Reilly. Mike says start 3 out of 5 here. Vert, Zoboslai, Ekitike, Wilson and Anderson, Fulham's Anderson. Or do I use one of my 2 free transfers? 25k overall rank. Start 3 out of 5. So, God, it's rough when you've got triple Liverpool attack. And you've got Wilson against Chelsea. So I'd start Wilson. I'd start Zoboslai. I think if I were you, I'd probably sell Verts. You could do like Verts to Gordon. I feel like that's a move worth making. You still have Zoboslai and Ekitike home to Burnley, and you get rid of Verts. Maybe Verts to Gordon. Is there any other mids that are worth buying this week? I wouldn't buy Cunha. Probably Gordon. Verts to Gordon. Cherky's nice as well. When will the Tom Dollymore videos be back? They'll be back Gameweek 22. It's just because of the turnaround, basically. Because last Gameweek ended on Sunday, and then we've got another one today. And I have 4 videos every week that I do normally. I do sometimes 5 when there's more time. I do the players to buy. I do my team selection. I do the experts, and then it's Tom's video. And it just wasn't enough time to do 4 videos in that space of time. I was already having to do the players to buy video like when the gaming hadn't completed, which I hate doing. Like, it doesn't make sense to do any videos when the gaming's still ongoing, but it was the only way I could put it out. But normally that just doesn't make sense. I don't like the idea of mid-gaming content because you don't have the whole picture. But that was the only way to do it. Otherwise, couldn't do it at all. But yeah, Tom will be back in Gameweek 22. Are you sure Ekatike is not starting? I'm really unsure, actually. I don't know. There's every chance he does. Like, it sounds like a minor injury, but he does have Arsenal in fairness anyway. And it's so close when it's Anderson, because Anderson's got Chelsea and he's just not keeping a clean sheet against Chelsea, surely. Yeah, it could be a mistake. Sacked off Tom's video. Sacked in the morning. Colourblind Engineer says Dewsbury Hall and Semenyo to Cunha and Marley start both. Or Van Dijk and Trafford to Gabriel and the former defender start Gabriel and then roll 2 game weeks for Cunha and Gabriel based on Game Week 21. I'm not a big fan of Miley. He's going to lose his spot any game now. As soon as Livramento's back, Miley's done. He'll probably end up dropping to the bench again. So I don't think I would do that. And I don't like Cunha really either. I know he's got a great fixture this week, but after that, you just want to sell him straight away. So, can you afford just something like Dewsbury Hall to Tavernier? Just leave Semenyo in. Semenyo should play. I think the release clause is from the 10th of Jan, so he's fine for another game, at least. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of any of those moves. Virgil Truffer is okay, but who would you get as a 4-mil defender? So there's not really any options, are there? My best guess is Voltemada starts, yeah, for those asking about Voltemada. I think after 2 benchings, he should, in theory, start. Would you start Miley? Well, it depends on who the alternative is, but I think he's fine to start when he's home to Leeds. I know he's a midfielder, so it's 1 point for a clean sheet, but there's clean sheet potential, good DEFCON potential, and obviously he's normally mid, so like he's got an eye for goal. Got an assist last game, I think. So I think he's fine to start, yeah. But I wouldn't buy him. Like, for Colourblind Engineer's question, I wouldn't buy him. Because Livramento is going to be back really soon, and then that means Marley is the one that misses out. The only reason he's been playing so much is because of all the injuries, and no one else can play right back. Trippier's been out. Kraft has been out. Like, all the options at right back have been out. Thoughts on Miley? You having a laugh? Piyush says Zobosai, Miley or Anderson. So it's 1 to start. Zobosai, Miley or Anderson. It's Zobosai or Miley, I would say, between those. Zobosai versus Miley. That's really close. I think Miley, honestly. I would start Miley. Summer says Anderson, DCL, Timber, Miley, Ekatike, Dorgu. Start 3. Okay, so you start Dorgu, you start Timber. And it's Anderson, so Forrest Anderson. Or DCL. I would say Anderson. Yeah, Anderson, Timber, Dorgu. That would be the 3. Miley, DCL, Ekatike, bench. Is Bruno back? Yeah, he reportedly is. I don't know if he'll start, but he's back, yeah. I'm buying him in Game Week 24, 100%. Straight back in my team, Game Week 24. Why are you planning to bring in Palmer instead of Enzo? He's much cheaper. Yeah, I mean, it's like the Saka versus Rice debate, isn't it? For me, I just thought Saka's the better asset. He's like higher ceiling, more proven, but Rice is having an unbelievable season. Plus, he's benefiting from DEFCONs. You know, his goal scoring's gone up, so it's looking like I was wrong about Saka versus Rice, and I could be wrong about Enzo versus Palmer. I think Enzo's great. Oh, Teddy wants to go out. 1 sec. Go on then. Go on then. I mean, if you had a choice of either, who would you start, guys? Enzo or Palmer? Sorry, who would you buy, Enzo or Palmer? If you could have either, surely you'd say Palmer, because we know what Palmer's ceiling is compared to Enzo. It's the same thing. But yeah, it does depend on what that money can go towards. But it is possible for me to own Saka, Bruno, Palmer, and Haaland. So if I can own all of those, then I want Palmer. Start Timber or Lafay? I'd start Timber. These are the odds, clean sheet odds and projected goals this week. So Arsenal are actually joint top with Everton now. These odds update in real time based on the bookies' odds moving, because the bookies' odds do fluctuate. Arsenal were second on 38%, but they've gone up 2% today. So I don't know if they're like anticipating Ekitike missing out, or some other factors caused those odds to drift 2% in Arsenal's favour. So I wonder what that is. But now they're joint top with Everton. The bookies lie. Every time I ever post the bookies, without fail, someone says that's wrong. So like, well, if that's wrong, put a bet on it. You'll be rich. It's their job to be right as often as possible and as accurate as they can be. But obviously they're not going to be right every week. But it's their job to try and be as accurate as possible, which is why they can be useful for FPL purposes. I'm not encouraging betting though, so don't take that the wrong way. But you know what I mean? Like every week, someone was like, "This is rubbish, Focal." Like, how can you say Arsenal 40%? So I'm not saying it. First of all, that's the odds that they're given. Question from Frag says, "Start two out of Ekitike, Mukiele, and Zobo." I would start Mukiele and Zobo, just because of the uncertainty over Ekitike. Maybe you'll get DEFCON out of Zobo. Maybe they'll win a pen. Tracking back quick on the betting. I haven't put a bet on the game for God knows how many years. Probably 10. Like I personally don't encourage it, and I think FPL is like a really good way to sort of bet on a game, but for free as well. Like I would never care about Brentford playing Sunderland, but I've got 3 players in that game, so you bet I'm going to be intrigued on how that game is going to play out. Sese says, "Should I take a -4 to sell Cherky and buy Saka?" No, I can't take a hit to sell Cherky. He's fine. What's wrong with Cherky? I think people are buying him, if anything. Is Bar a sheet pick? Yeah, I definitely wouldn't sell Cherky, let alone for a hit. Harry's just seen the message about being on holiday. Yeah, so I wouldn't sell Cherky for a hit. FPL is just free gambling. Yeah, exactly. Like you get so invested in all the games because you've got players involved in them. It's brilliant. Secret WhatsApp group pause there. Yeah, no, I just because I sent that message earlier to Harry when people were joking about him. What did it say again? When JCC said, "At least you care about your subscribers, unlike the others taking a holiday," and I sent it on to Harry. I think he's just woken up though. It's like 4 AM in Australia. Dedication, that is. I do sympathise actually. Anyone that's in the time zones where it's really awkward times. Like, is anyone up super early right now? Harry, there he is, Harry. They were winding you up earlier, Harry, and also Dan. Apparently, Dan's on holiday. What time is it there, Harry? You've done so well to get up. Is there even going to be any news before the deadline that's beneficial based on tonight's game? That is dedication. Oh, now Teddy wants to come back in. Come on in. Come on in, jump. Right, I think Teddy's back for the last 20. Sorry, we've gone a bit off the rails here towards the end of this stream. Teddy's the main character. If anyone's been a subscriber long enough, you'll know that Teddy used to actually be my logo, and then I changed it to the F. Harry, what is he still here? What are you doing this game week? Are you rolling? He's got Ekatike as well. He says, what did I miss? It's 5:08 AM. No, I wanted to see what was said on Bruno and Ekatike. I can answer the Bruno one. So he's back in training, and I think he's going to be in the squad. Ekatike, there was this quote. I don't know if you saw this, Harry. Slot said, it was always going to be a thin line and a difficult balance. If a player's not available on Sunday, is he then available in 4 days? So that actually is quite worrying. Like, he might not play at all. Unless it's mind games. Unless Slot is doing an Arteta and just putting out made-up team news that's not accurate. But he's generally not the sort to do that. But what I was saying, and obviously you know this as well, like they play in 11 days for game week 22 for Burnley home. So that's such a great turnaround. Like, if he played again on Saturday or Sunday, I'd be quite worried. But given it's 11, I think it's the 14th they play, no? Sorry, the 17th they play. You think you're starting Ekatike over Anderson? Yeah, fair enough. That's so close, because obviously Anderson's likely to get defcons and Ekatike is to get a goal or assist. But goals and assists are worth more than what if Ekatike was to come off the bench, 1 pointer, probably starts or not involved at all. Might not matter at all in the end. But yeah, fair enough. So Harry's starting Ekatike most likely. I'll be honest, I swapped it like 20 minutes before going live, and normally when I do something last minute it goes wrong, so it could be an error. I think that's all that's been said. I did actually message the Liverpool guy and asked him about... Oh, has he replied? Oh, someone tagged me in their story. I thought he'd replied. I asked him if he'd heard anything on Ekatike and what's going on there, but no reply. Don't know if he'd know this early either. Anyway, yeah, nice one, Harry. Best of luck, mate. Hope the jet lag's not too killer. So, I'm trying to remember where I got to now. Got a bit sidetracked with the questions. I did, so start, yeah, I did that. Did Frag's question, did I? Start 2 out of Ekatike, Mukiele, Zoboslai, Mukiele and Zoboslai, Aris taking -4, yeah. So it was Pat who says, start Mukiele or Anderson, you have Collins. I would go Mukiele over Anderson. I was starting Mukiele regardless over Anderson in my team, and it was just, for me, it was Ekatike versus Anderson. And I ended up playing Anderson. We've got about 3,300 tuned in, so thank you all for being here. Especially those of you that are just here normally as FPL Harry regulars, just swang by for the one-off. Thank you for coming by. Make sure you hit subscribe. What does that say, brothers? This brother's voice is so soothing. Maybe I need to do like I'll make an ASMR channel. Welcome back for another video. No, you don't want to take a -4. That's not very sensible. Don't know if that came through. Arthur says, wildcard, did I screw up? He's gone Rurfs, Mukiele, Mateus, Gabriel Rogers, Rice, Saka, Foden, Wilson, Haaland, Thiago, Dubravka, DCL, Keane, or Dorete. I've made a wildcard draft earlier, if it helps. This was who I had in it. Patrick says, oh yes, Oscar. You're just here for the dog, says Jack. Right, so 30% have got no transfers right now. 36% have got 1, 22% have got 2, 12% have got 3 or more. So that was the wildcard I made, Arthur. It's pretty similar to what you've done there. Basically, you've gone Rice over Raya, and you've gone 2 strikers. I went 1. Obviously, you haven't got the money for this. You could go Barnes over Mane or something like that. Kunam says, I'm not going to lie, I could sleep with that. It's 2 AM here. Only Focal ASMR. Don't know about that. Gamzo says, Grealish and Hall or Bruno G and Keane. I'm chasing in my mini league. I prefer Bruno G to Grealish. And Keane versus Hall. Keane's okay, but he could be a short-term pick. But I definitely prefer that combination more, either way. Bruno G and Keane. Yeah, that's a better combination. Colorblind Engineer says, I can't do Hall to Tavernier, so... Sorry, Dewsbury Hall to Tavernier, so Dewsbury Hall to Garner. Let me find your question before. So it was... Virgil Trafford to Gabriel 4 mil, or Dewsbury Hall to Miley. So... No, I'm not a big fan of Dewsbury Hall to Garner. I would rather go Lefay. Lefay's better than Garner, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd consider that if I were you, because Lefay takes free kicks, he's on pens, takes some corners. Honestly, I think he's so good for 4.9 mil. I would consider him if you're going to sell Dewsbury Hall. So yeah, I would look at that. PT Usher says, move Saka on for Rice to upgrade Kelleher, Mukiele to Pickford and Tarkowski. I don't think I would do that either. I think there's going to be better ways to spend transfers than buying like Pickford and Tarkowski this week. I know they've got a good fixture, but some people have got Ekitike. I think he's got to go in a few weeks. People haven't got Bruno yet, obviously. Gameweek 24, he looks great. Palmer looks great. Or Enzo, Gameweek 24. There's just so many transfers that I think are better than buying like Tarkowski and Pickford, or selling Saka for Rice. I just don't think it's worth spending transfers on that right now. So I wouldn't make any of those moves. Random guy says, good long-term Raya replacement. I'm looking at Sanchez. I think Sanchez has got potential. He's expected to be back and start against Fulham. Start O'Reilly or Anderson. O'Reilly. When are you wildcarding? Not sure yet. It'll be much later in the season, hopefully. Unless my team goes completely wrong with injuries and stuff. But I'd like to save it. That's why I've been rolling recently. Like, I'm on 3 and I'm going to roll to 4. Even though my team is pretty garbage this week. Like, I'm going to need a bit of luck to get a green this week, looking at that team. Wouldn't you agree? But that's how much I value spending free transfers later. So, yeah, for me, it's like, roll if you can, because you're going to need those moves for better moves later. Can you show your transfer plans for us? So in Game Week, I don't know yet, to be honest with you. I'm looking at so many different paths. But one I quite like is, in Game Week 22, it would be Raya to Sanchez. I can just show it over here, actually. Can you see that? So Game Week 22, I could do Raya to Sanchez. This would be for the next few weeks. Huh? Oh, Raya Sanchez. And then I can afford to do O'Reilly to Gabriel. So I finally get Gabriel in, even though he's probably going to be about 8 million by then. And then it would be Cunha. I don't know if I can afford Gakpo. I'd love Gakpo, but something like that. Maybe I'd start Mukiele over Anderson, but that would be Game Week 22. That looks fine. Game Week 23, I'd roll. Game Week 24, Szoboszlai to Fernandes, Foden to Palmer, Ekitike to Barnes. I can do all those moves for free if nothing else goes wrong. Probably it will, but... So then that would be my team for Game Week 24. I would start... Yeah, Mukiele and Lefebvre have got Burnley home. So I can potentially get Palmer, Bruno in. I can replace Ekitike, I can get Gabriel. Do all of that for free. Because of rolling. So yeah, Sanchez, best long-term Raya replacement probably. Goran says, I'm chasing, need a punt. Cunha, Cherki or Bruno Fernandes captain. I think the captaincy, if you're really chasing, is Cunha captain. Ekitike to Teddy. Captain widget this week has got Haaland on 5 stars, Cunha on 3. So it's just those two really. Cunha's the one if you're chasing. Matt says, do I bench Ekitike or Gravenberg? Oh, Gravenberg. I feel like you bench Gravenberg there, surely. He's got a good chance of Defcon, I suppose, but I would rather bench Gravenberg and start Ekitike. Does Lewis Potter start? I think he was benched last game, so he should do. He should do. Can't forget about the Olympian curse. Who did the Olympian back this week? Mohammed says, hello Oscar, do I start Vandenberg or Mukiele? Oh, such a tricky one, because Vandenberg's better if he starts. I'd probably play Vandenberg if I were you. It's really close that, but I think Vandenberg probably starts. Brentford fans, let us know. Do you agree with that? Last 10 minutes, so we'll put a poll up. Who is your captain? Cunha, Haaland, Thiago or other? Let's take a screenshot of my team. Let's have a quick look over on Twitter. Is there any leaks or anything we've missed? I'm interested actually to see if others are starting Ekitike or not that own him. Late Riser starting Ekitike, but his bench is just Potts, so that's fair. Harry is starting Ekitike over Anderson. Anderson over Ekitike there. He's starting both, but he doesn't have a bench. Senesi over and Ekitike there. I'm okay. Whatever happens with this decision, I'm okay with it. I think it makes sense. It could go either way, but yeah, the team looks so bad this week, doesn't it? Right, game week 21. Roll to 4 free transfers. And I'll get back to the questions. Is it game week 21? Yeah, it is. Right, boom, that's that sorted. Back to the questions. Abdullah says, will Paquetá start? He was seen training, so I think he's got a good chance. But I couldn't honestly tell you that for certain. But all I'm basing that on is that he was photographed training. So if you've got Paquetá, there is a slither of hope there. He wasn't a training pick, so I would say based on him being in training, he should be alright. West Ham's Instagram. Interesting. I've just posted this. Does it mean anything, or is it an old photo? I think that's about all we're going to get on him, but I'll keep checking in these last 7 mins. Right, back to the questions. Let's keep going. Will says, should I start Ekitike or Anderson? Anderson, personally. If that's Forrest Anderson, he's even better than my Anderson. Check out the DCL and Tavernier fixture rotation. I'll have a look at that. I'm looking to buy Tavernier maybe in 24 or 25, so that could be a useful one. Haha 10,000 says, I've got 5 free transfers. What's the best team this week? Best players to buy this week? Like in terms of defenders, Chow looks good. Midfielders, Gordon, Thiago, if you need a striker. I wouldn't spend too many this week. It's a pretty difficult week, all things considered. The fixtures are quite awkward, so I don't think you need to spend them just because you've got them. Drop the Jazz says, bench 1, Wilson, Enzo, Ekitike. I would bench Ekitike out of those 3. Start Wilson, start Enzo. Oscar, mate, why are you not concerned about holding Virgil at all? He's not been great. He's not been awful either, but I've got to keep him for at least Burnley home. And I've got other ways to get to Gabriel. I can sell Raya and O'Reilly to Sanchez and Gabriel, for example, and then I can jump on Chelsea's good long-term fixtures. So it's just one of those. Like, if I had a wildcard right now, I wouldn't have Van Dijk, but transfers are so precious and you need to make them count. So I'm just not fully sold on binning off Van Dijk just yet. I'll bench him this week, play him against Burnley, probably keep hold after that even. I just don't have all the scope to make all these transfers. One player actually I'd love to get back in is Munoz. I think he's back very soon, and Palace's fixtures are quite nice in a few weeks' time. Game week 26, Burnley home, Wolves home. I mean, come on. That move makes itself, but right now I think I just leave him. Fabro Melka says, start 1 and bench order, Ekitike, Wilson, Richards. I'd start Wilson and then it'd be Ekitike and then Richards for the bench, in my opinion. I think you'll get really different answers on Ekitike depending on who you ask, but personally I'm benching him and I would start Wilson over him. Glasner said Richards will make the bench, I believe, so I wouldn't risk Richards. I'd put him behind Ekitike on the bench. Lara says buy Wilson, Enzo or Tavernier 6.4 mil. It depends what you can use that money towards if you go Tavernier over Enzo. Tavernier is better than Wilson in my opinion. Enzo's probably better than Tavernier. Depends what you can do with that money. If you don't need it for anything, go for Enzo. But you might need it for like Bruno in 24. Maybe Palmer as well. Maybe you don't need Palmer. Maybe you want to buy Gabriel. I don't know who you've got. Yeah, I'm rolling this week. I'm rolling again. So 4 free transfers for Game Week 22. It's going to be a while actually till the next deadline stream because Game Week 22 was on Saturday 17th, I think. So a bit of a gap. It's the end of the hectic winter period, which was good fun while it lasted, but we're back to more normal scheduling now. 11 days. Voltemada bench or start? If I had Voltemada, I'd start him. Eden says Sanchez, Tarkowski, Hall, Nunez, Saka, Palmer, Gordon. I need the correct start in 11. So you start Sanchez. You start Tarkowski, Hall, and Nunez. Yeah, Saka, Palmer, Gordon, Bruno Fernandes. Is that who you mean? Bruno Fernandes, not Bruno G, yeah? Rodgers, Watkins, Bowen. You haven't got Haaland? Is that right? Yeah. Watkins, Bowen, Gabriel, DCL. I would start Gabriel over Bruno Fernandes. Oh, honestly, if I knew Bruno started this week, he would be in. Because it's such a great fixture, but he's been injured. Would they really throw him straight in the 11? Maybe. Wouldn't surprise me. And he'll be begging to start, but I just wouldn't be surprised if they gave Bruno a benching and then he came off the bench and then he starts after that for the tougher games after Game Week 21. So I would start Gabriel over Bruno Fernandes. The rest is fine. James says Ekatike or Mukiele. Mukiele, honestly, James, I think. Liverpool are playing the best defence in the league. They've got the worst, or among the worst, projected goals. Yeah, they're rock bottom for projected goals. You need Ekatike to start and you need him to score or assist. What are the chances realistically? Plus he's got the knock. I think with all things considered, I'd just go Mukiele. Solskjaer likely to be interim for United. Is that true? I thought Fletcher was in for the rest of the season. 2 minutes, boys. Final reminder. Make sure your bench is in the right order. Captaincy, vice-captaincy. You've got 2 minutes to go. Donnarumma triple captain. No, save it. Start Raul or Xhaka. Xhaka. Make your team aesthetically pleasing. Last time I made my team aesthetically pleasing, I had a really, really good team and I got really, really bad score. So I'm over it. Imperfect is better. Does anyone else do that? Do they put their team based like colour coordinated or anything like that? Or put players in their actual positions they play in real life? So like I would have Timber right back here, O'Reilly left back. I probably shouldn't piss around with that a minute to the deadline, but imagine, you know what I mean. So 86% on the Haaland on the captain poll, then it's 9% Cunha, 3% Thiago, 2% other. Before you all vanish at the deadline, thank you for swinging by. Hit subscribe below if you've enjoyed the stream, and hit like as well. Lots of content to come before the next game week. I'll be able to do transfer plans, so that's fun. I've not been able to do a transfer plans videos for so long because of the schedule, but that'll be back. Plus the usual players to buy, team selection, the experts team. Tom's team selection will be back as well, and then another deadline stream on the 17th, so an 11-day gap until the next one. Jed says, you bloody legend, love you, appreciate you. Farbro Melka says, Harry sent me here. Shout as well to everyone that's normally a Harry regular. I hope you've enjoyed your stay. Appreciate you coming. Brad says, cheers, Focal. That's it. That's the deadline. It is 6:30 here in the UK. And what schedule we've got this game week? Tonight, not so much. West Ham v Forest. But tomorrow, 8 games on at the same time. That is going to be carnage. I can't wait for tomorrow. But whenever I say I can't wait for it, it just goes wrong. So maybe not. Cheers for the stream, mate. No worries. Thanks for coming. I like your voice. Thank you. So I think we'll leave it there, right? It's been a good stream. That flew by. 2 hours worth there. Let's play the outro music. Don't forget to subscribe before you go to lock in the green arrow. Harry sent me here, but I'm definitely going to be making this one of my regulars now. Appreciate you. Thank you everyone that came by. It's been a good stream. I really enjoyed that, and I hope you'll smash it this game week. So here's my team. I rolled the transfer. One more time running through it. Is Raya, O'Reilly, Mukiele, Timber, Anderson, Cunha, Foden, Saka, Lefay, Haaland and Thiago. I thought I'd accidentally captain Thiago then. Bloody dream team. That's it for me. Good luck, all. Focal out.
De Bruyne's corner.